Hello everyone, welcome to another podcast. So before I get into it, I want to make a few announcements, I guess. I'm thinking this week will probably be my last podcast for this year about mental health. I'm really enjoying doing these mental health talks, but it does take a little bit of preparation, and while I don't mind that at all, since it's December, I really want to do like a bunch of podcasts about Christmas and like the holiday season. You know, just this kind of like positive time, because this really is my favorite time of the year, and I really want to keep it positive for pretty much this whole time. I really love Christmas so much. Even as a I'm a Christian. I celebrate it at church and stuff, but also even like from the non-Christian side, I just love how it's seen as a time of like giving and a time of positivity and a time of just happiness and joy and a time of family. So I really want to spend this time like talking about these kind of topics, and I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna think about it for the next few weeks. But I'm thinking about maybe taking a break from podcast early next year, just until like I move abroad. But it depends because I'm thinking about it, like how I'm gonna approach it, how I'm gonna approach the videos on my channel as it gets closer to me moving abroad. But I still haven't fully worked that out yet, so I'm gonna like still think about it for the next few weeks and discuss it with some of my friends just to get an idea. But for the time being, this is probably my last mental health topic, I think, for this year. And then the rest of December, I'm just gonna be talking about some holiday related stuff and hopefully some like really positive stuff. So I'm really excited for that. So today, since the last 2 weeks, I've been talking about self-talk, and mostly I've been focusing on negative self-talk and things that we tell ourselves that kind of like sabotage our own mental health. So today I thought, since it's going to be the final talk about self-talk for now, I might come back to it in the future, but for now this is going to be the last one for self-talk. I thought it would be good to talk about the positive side of things, how we can kind of work against this negative self-talk. So there's really one main tip that I use for overcoming negative self-talk. I'm sure there's other ways, and I might try to talk about other ways in the future, but I think today I just want to focus on this one thing that I use, and it really is a matter of changing your mindset. So the thing that I find contrary to this mindset is like with the negative mindset, you kind of have this thing where you see yourself as like a finished book or something. Whatever is wrong with you, that's it. That's you, and that's it. But we have to realize that we are not set in stone. We are still like an unfinished story. Our story is still being written, and anything that sucks right now, it can be changed. If you think of it like a story, you're still in like chapter 2, chapter 3 or something, but there's probably like 50 or something more chapters left in your life. So you are nowhere near done, and things are going to change. Things can be changed, and they will, and you have to understand that. And I think the first step is understanding that things can be changed, and then after that you need to like work with the possibility of change, so that work as a team with it, so that it can kind of work to change in the direction that you want it to. Another analogy is I remember when I was studying art, there was a time when I had to study doing stone sculpture, and that was really difficult. But and it's really hard to approach it. You're just given this block of stone, and you just have to chip away at it. And it's really hard to like wrap your head around how are you going to get your sculpture out of this block of stone. But what my art teacher told me was so profound. Even though it was just about my block of stone, it was really profound. Like basically, this stone is holding your sculpture inside, and you need to chip away everything that is not your sculpture to get away to get your sculpture out of it. And I like to think that that's what we are. We are in our lives. We are the sculpture that, but we start off as this stone, and we need to keep chipping away things until we get what's remaining until we get the remaining sculpture out of it. It's basically like whenever there's something that you don't like about yourself, you can chip away at it to get it off until eventually someday you're left with the final sculpture. And that doesn't mean you gotta have it done by this year. You gotta have it done before you're 25 or something. Like I think it's a lifelong thing. It's a lifelong journey, but it's a lifelong journey of trying to get closer and closer to this sculpture that we want to be. So when it comes to more practical ways, one of the things that I found that helped me so much is in relation to not seeing yourself as like this completed, finished thing. When you find things that you don't like about yourself, don't accept that as a fact, but rather see it as a thing that can be improved on. And I think that's pretty much true for everything. Like, you can improve on basically everything. And things that you can't really change about yourself, like your height, your ethnicity, like those aren't inherently bad things. If you don't like that you're too short or you're too tall or something, there are good sides to that. Of course there are bad sides to that as well, but there are good sides. Like, I'm sure there's people who would envy what ethnicity you are, or people who would envy your height, whether you're really short or really tall. Like, there are times when I wanted to be taller, especially like when it comes to fashion. So many pants, if I want them to like go above my ankle or something, I have to get them altered just because I'm like a little bit too I'm not that. I need to be like 5 to 8 centimeters taller to be able to be tall enough for those pants. There are times that I want to be shorter because especially like sometimes when I buy like I don't know, just like shirts and stuff, I find like they end a bit too short, and I kind of just want them to be a bit longer on me. And there are there's just certain things that made me feel like that. But I think for the most part, I'm generally happy with my height. But it's one of those things when you'll sometimes like you want to be something that you can't be. So, there have been times growing up in Australia where I wanted to be white, and I think that's kind of common with immigrants or children of immigrants. We commonly experience that. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with my ethnicity, but that is something that I can't change. There are times I want to be something else. There are times while living abroad in Korea, I wanted to be Korean because I just want to be able to fit in and feel like I'm one of them in a sense. But I put myself in this situation of being a foreigner, so I can't blame myself for that. So it's kind of like this. When it's something that you can't change about yourself, you got to look at the things that you do like about that side of yourself. And if you don't like anything about it, you got to find something, because for one thing, you can't change it. But then second thing, like, there are positives about basically all of these things that you can't change about yourself. And then when it comes to mindset, so I find when it comes to the negative side of things, and this can be true for like every creative medium, even with like YouTube. Like I struggle with a lot of insecurity about even my videos. I always feel like very insecure about them and my channel in general. But what I find that helps is, instead of saying that you suck at something, try to change your wording, so that instead of saying you suck, give it like a possibility of becoming better. So say stuff like I need to improve my video editing skills. I need to improve my filming skills. I need to stop shaking it so that my next video will be better. Instead of saying like, oh, this video sucks, look at what about it sucks, and then you can use that to improve your next one, and then that will kind of like motivate you to make a better video next time. Sometimes I'll rewatch my videos. I mean, I have to watch it like 50 times when I'm editing, but when I watch my videos, sometimes I'll see something, I'll be like, oh, I hate how I recorded that. Like I was too shaky, or I didn't like the angle, or I should have recorded a bit earlier in the day. Those kind of things. Like, I notice them while I'm editing, and instead of like getting upset that like I ruined my video, I just like try to keep a mental note of those things. And then the next time when I'm editing my videos or recording my videos, I'll keep those in mind, and I'll try to get better shots. And now I feel a lot better about my videos than I did like a month ago, just because I've been doing that. So instead of telling yourself that your videos suck, tell yourself, like, look at the things that you don't like about them and try to work on them next time. And when it comes to appearance, I had the worst self-esteem. I still have pretty bad self-esteem, but it was so much worse before. I would just tell myself that, you're ugly, you're this, you're that, and I just accepted that that's what I was. But once I changed my mindset, I realized, like, constantly telling myself every day that I'm ugly, it made me ugly. But once I started telling myself every day that, things like, I don't like I don't like my current weight, but I want to work on that. I want to be slimmer. So eventually, like, it made me, it kind of motivated me to exercise a bit more and just to take a little bit more care in what I ate. Especially, not only just with weight, but then also, like, I didn't like, especially with my skin condition, I didn't want that to be paired with like acne or something like that. So sometimes I'd be a bit more cautious about eating, like over consuming like super oily or salty foods, just because I've heard that those can have a strong effect on getting acne and stuff. Yeah, and then when sometimes I'll get like a bit, I don't like my hair, I can just go get a haircut. Instead of telling myself that I'm ugly or I suck, I try to find the points that I don't like in myself and tell myself, try to find ways that I can improve that. So instead of telling myself that this is what I am, it's better to say that this is what I want to be, or this is what I need to improve on, this is what I need to do better. That's a much more productive way to talk to yourself. Telling yourself, like, and this can also become toxic as well, as if you go overboard. If you keep telling yourself that you need to do better than this, you need to do better, like, don't overdo it, of course. But if there is something that you really don't like about yourself, instead of constantly reminding yourself that you suck at it, or that you're just 100% just bad at it, remind yourself that you can be better, and you can be this thing that you're kind of dreaming of being. Like, honestly, for me, this year has been there's been a lot of transformation for me. I feel like physically, this is the lightest weight I've been since like middle school, or like in Australia, like the first year, like year 7. Like, I don't think I've been this weight since then. So that's probably like since I was like 13, 14. That's the last time I was about this weight. So physically, I've changed a lot. I feel like I've gotten better at like choosing the clothes I wear. So I feel like I generally look better like fashion wise. In terms of like mentality and stuff, I feel like I've gotten a lot more confident. I've gotten a lot more outgoing. I feel, even though I still suck at like conversation, but I feel like I'm a bit more outgoing than I used to be. And these were things that I used to see myself as never being able to be. But then just having this mindset of telling myself, giving myself like the solution on like all the time, like, this is what I want to be, and this is how I can do it, and this is what I need to do more of to get to this point. Just giving myself these sort of self-talk instead. It's just really helped me to improve as a person and feel a lot better about myself, because now I'm not the thing that I was as insecure. Now I'm not really the person that I was insecure about, because those things I was insecure about, they're not really true about me anymore, and I was the one that made that happen. And I think that's one of the things we got to realize. If we want to be able to overcome these things, we have the power to do that, and we have to put that action in motion. So once you get started in that, you can really make that progress and become a new person, hopefully. So I think that's it for today. Thank you for listening as usual, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.